Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Last time we left off with talking about the Japanese, how they treated prisoners of war and the Allies and things of that nature. Sorry about this. Sometimes turning these pages is a little hard. But we are now on to Threat to Stalingrad. August 24th, 1942. Fighting in the Don Elbow. On August 18th, the German armies, driving towards Stalingrad from the northwest, reached the Don southeast of Kletskaya. And 5 days later, they succeeded in getting tanks and men across onto the east bank under cover of an area umbrella. Further south, the enemy drove a deep wedge into the Russian lines northeast of Kotelinkovo on the 24th, thereby threatening Stalingrad from the north and south. The pictures show above Cossack cavalry charging to attack the enemy during the fighting on the Don. And then below, an aerial view of the Don Elbow showing 2 out of the 3 bridges destroyed. Now, we have to actually find those bridges. Here, this is the one that's still good. Is that supposed to be the other one? I can't tell. But that looks like it's still a bridge that's of note. It's kind of hard to tell, these bridges. I believe this is a bridge that kind of looks like it was supposed to be one. Maybe this is supposed to be another bridge, and this is a third bridge. But yeah, not getting rid of all those bridges obviously does threaten them pretty badly. And also, we never really talk about very much. A lot of men still used horses in this battle, mostly in Russia. But still, it's kind of crazy to think that Churchill visits Moscow in the Middle East. August 24th, 1942. Churchill talks with Stalin and Smuts. On August 17th, it was announced that important conversations had taken place in Moscow between Winston Churchill, W. Averell Harriman, and Marshal Stalin, and that a number of decisions had been reached concerning the conduct of the war against Germany. On his return journey, the British Prime Minister visited the Middle East, where he convened with Allied leadership and visited Allied troops on the desert battlefront. During his stay, he met General Smuts, Prime Minister of South Africa. And then it'll tell us. In the top picture, Mr. Churchill is shown in Moscow with Harriman, Stalin, and Molotov. So, we're going to assume some things, because I can't quite tell. There's 2 possibilities here. Either one... Oh boy, sorry about that. Oh man. Well, there's Churchill, obviously. There's Stalin. Now, either this guy is Molotov, or this guy is Molotov, and either this guy is Harriman, this guy is Harriman, or this guy is Harriman, or Molotov. I don't know, and I apologize, because I know I've seen them a million times, but I don't remember them as much, you know? These guys I remember a lot, because I've seen a lot more, but, you know. And then obviously in the bottom picture, that's Churchill with General Smuts. The Duke of Kent dies in the line of duty. August 28th, 1942. Royal tragedy. On August 25th, a Sunderland flying landboat carrying HRH, the Duke of Kent to Iceland, crashed on a lonely mountainside in Scotland, and All the occupants, except the rear gunner, were killed. Born on December 20th, 1902, the Duke married Princess Mariana of Greece in 1934, by whom he had 3 children. The youngest, Prince Michael, was born on July 4th, only a few weeks before his father's tragic death. The funeral took place at St. George's Chapel, Windsor, on August 29th. The photograph, left first, by Cecil Beaton, shows the Duke and Duchess with their youngest child. Above, the Duke's coffin, draped with his personal standard, is seen on its arrival in London from Scotland. Very unfortunate, especially since how he goes down is kind of just... It was kind of, it's kind of happened. But I'm sure the royal family have mourned quite a bit. So there we can see. At least they have the good memories and pictures to remember him by. Japanese setback in New Guinea, August 27th to 30th, 1942. New landing in Papua New Guinea. In an effort to bypass the Owen Stanley Mountains and capture Port Moresby, as well as to obtain an advanced base for the recapture of their lost position in the Solomons, Japanese troops landed at Milne Bay, Papua, on August 27th. Allied aircraft and Australian troops were waiting, unknown to the enemy, and inflicted such severe losses on his force that the bulk of them were withdrawn on the 29th. The map shows the main centers of fighting in the area of New Guinea. So here we can see fighting here in New Caledonia. You can see one here in Espiritu Santo, I think. I mean, these are the new... I can't even read that. Here's the Solomons. Here's the fighting that's been happening in Guadalcanal. I believe, the blackened is the Japanese islands, the ones that they still own. And here's Papua, and here's New Guinea. But they, the blackened is where the Japanese land. Yeah. And then they land here. Or no, this is the land that they still have. My bad. I misunderstood the map. This is the land they still have. This is right here where they land and then are destroyed by the enemy. And you can see most of the islands around Australia, directly around Australia, have been taken back. The only big example here is the Solomons and parts of Papua and New Guinea, and then all of New Britain and New Ireland. And also, here's a close-up example. And here's the bay, which the Japanese attack, which if you look, when they go in there, if they have a huge enemy force waiting for them, they're going to just be funneled in on probably both sides and just be obliterated. And then here we see where the fighting is still happening. And this is why they were trying to get around these islands here, or the islands, these mountains here, because they're just bogging them down. Marine raiders established a beachhead in the Solomons. August 1942. Landing operations. A true Marine Corps landing operation takes place on the tip of Guadalcanal Island as these soldiers of the sea come ashore from their landing craft, during the preliminary fight to establish a beachhead on this South Pacific island. These Marines were part of a Raider battalion, which was used with great success in landing operations in the South Pacific Campaign. An expeditionary force of United States Marines, provided with protective convoy and a task force, arrived on the island on August 6th, and at dawn on August 7th, split into two portions. One proceeded to the vicinity of Tulagi, and the second to Guadalcanal. The approach to the area of operation was fortunately under cover of an overcast sky that made enemy aerial reconnaissance difficult. But on the night of August 6th to 7th, the weather cleared. However, the expeditionary forces, with their supporting craft, proceeded to their assigned positions, undetected, and the Japanese were taken by surprise. By nightfall on August 9th, unloading operations had been completed and cargo ships left the area. By noon of August 10th, they were fully involved and consolidated their positions on the islands of Guadalcanal, Tulagi, Gavutu, Tanambogo, Macambo, and portions of Florida Island. Yeah, so having the weather with you would be very helpful. Obviously, like they said, the weather cleared, which not so good for them, but remaining undetected, that's what matters. And if the enemy doesn't know you're there, and you can have a complete surprise attack, you might have a good advantage of taking over the enemy. It's not always guaranteed, but it has worked effectively in history, so you would prefer to try it. Well, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Tell me what I can improve on. I always appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.